Now, protesters have stormed Abuja demanding Efcc chairman sack. Olukoyede, they want him sacked. Why? Why do they want him sacked? Is it in connection with Yahya Bello's case, or is it something else? We need to understand why Olukoyede should be sacked. Let's dive into the details to see exactly what transpired. Protesters on Monday stormed the Federal Capital Territory to demand the immediate sack of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission chairman, Mr. Olukoyede. Under the auspices of the Save Democracy Group, SDG, the protesters accused Olukoyede of breaching the law and disrespecting the judiciary. How? In a statement signed by its convener, Comrade Toyosi Moshood, the group also said that since his appointment, Olukoyede has denigrated the nation's democracy and trampled on its rule of law. How? Moshood further claimed that the Efcc under Olukoyede had derailed its core objectives and allowed itself to be used by desperate politicians to advance their selfish political interests and prosecute personal political vendetta. Protesters therefore urged Olukoyede to step aside to restore the confidence of Nigerians in our public space and for stalls looting of public funds. The recent apparent disregard of court orders by the EFCC, which was created to enforce the law, is a testament of how the EFCC under the current chairman has become a shadow of its former self, the statement said. A deliberate attempt to try innocent Nigerians online and smear their hard-earned reputations without first securing a conviction from courts of competent jurisdiction depicts the commission under Olukoyede as one which is at sea as to the best practices in the prosecution of economic crimes. He is hugely unfit to manage such an office, and we call for his immediate sack. Every Nigerian is aware of the sacrifices of President Bola Tinubu and other comrades who fought relentlessly to restore our dear nation to democracy after incessant and ruinous military rule. We call on Mr. President to use his good office to remove bad eggs that do not align with his rich democratic ideals. The EFCC chairman has become a moral and political liability to Mr. President. Can you imagine? His continuation at the helm of the agency calls to question the avowed resolve of Mr. President to sincerely fight corruption. The style and approach of the EFCC under Olukoyede reminds Nigerians of the gory days of the military when institutions of government were deployed against perceived political opponents. We must therefore quickly remind Olukoyede that this is a constitutional democracy and every action of any institution of government must be carried out in an acceptable constitutional manner. Oh boy. So this is a politically motivated protest, I'm sure. And there are two reasons to this. Either, what is his name? The former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, is now working underground with the national leadership of the APC to get this done, or something else is happening. And Olukoyede, he said that he vowed to prosecute all the three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And he has written to the office of the president and the office of the chief of staff to the president to, submit a report on how they award contract. He did that same thing to the Senate president to submit a report on how they award contract at the National Assembly. And he's going around, and I'm sure with all of those actions, he's beginning to step on toes, and they will find a political way to get him off the way, I'm pretty sure. So Olukoyede is obviously not going to last in that role, because he probably is trying to be a Christian in doing his job, or, refusing to be bought over. But, generally, Nigerians are saying that this guy is not a professional. His approach is not democratic, it's not diplomatic, it's not technical. He does not have security operatives experience. So with all of that in place, all these things that these people are writing up, Save Democracy Group, SDG, is just crap to me. They're just writing crap. It doesn't make sense. It's not even joining. It's not even joining in any way that this is a reason to take the man out of office. There's no smoke without fire. If you see any bird dancing on the road, what is giving it drumbeat is right inside the bush. Don't just chase the bird alone. Try to identify with the source of the music that the bird is dancing on the road. That is what is happening. This guy that is calling himself convener of SDG, Safe Democracy Group, is obviously dancing to the tune of someone else somewhere or a group of persons somewhere. So he's just paid to move at the front, I'm pretty sure. What is happening now, I know that President is planning as part of his 1 year celebration of his 1 year in his office, planning to get rid of some ministers on the ground of poor performance. And in that line, the current Minister of Power, Adelabu, has been penciled for removal and replacement. They are going to redeploy him. I'm sure this EFCC chairman might be another person they are going to also remove and replace him. And Tinubu will do this and will use them to shine and say, yes, I've told you people that I made a promise, I'm keeping to the promise. I promised that any minister that's not performing will be removed, and I have just done that. He wants to score cheap political point using these guys. I'm pretty sure Nigeria is so corrupt that before you can make impact as a minister, only God knows. And it's only those who are not honest, and who are ready to play politics with the corrupt politicians. Those are the ones that will survive. Anyone that wants to be, play holy in the role, or you want to maintain integrity and honesty, they will just get rid of you straight. The system abhors honesty completely the way it is. So I'm sure this drumbeat that is coming against Olukoyede is not a joke. The man should just prepare, because they are obviously probably going to remove him and probably either deploy him or send him home completely. Okay, but if it's actually in the heartbeat of Tinubu, in the plan of fighting corruption, then all this will just be noise. But I think what is coming is more than what is meeting the eyes. Now, somebody say useless youth without future ambition, NFA. And so when money has exchanged hands, they are being paid for. Politicians have weaponized poverty. Not be lie. These guys are just coming. Yaya Bello, now wow. Abi, somebody is, just like I was saying, it could be that Yaya Bello is behind some of these things, but there's no evidence, no proof, so you can't say it. But I know that it is Yaya Bello now that is, or Yaya Bello case that is exposing the competencies of the EFCC chairman to this level. And somebody say, what are you people saying? No amount of money given to you now can put food on your table. You people should think very well before embarking on such protest. Abi, lazy protesters, no job, not be lie. You are doing the job they pay them for. Abi, they are doing the job they pay them for, and that is true. That is true. Hired lazy criminals. Hey, and somebody is calling them rented lizards for circus showbiz disguised as public protest. Clowns like this, mopeds or puppets, will stage any road show for stomach infrastructure gratification's sake. Not be lie. Thank you for me. I don't know how to categorize them. People with eyes that cannot see the difference of red and green. Stupid and senseless paid protesters should be arrested for stopping criminality and fraudulent acts, or for supporting criminality and fraudulent acts. Exactly. Those mumu youths, don't be lie. You guys have no truth in your advocate. Okay? Woe for who see truth and call it lie. Don't be lie. Bello, come, how much have you paid them? How much have you paid them? Bello, how many times have I called you? Tell those your boys from Kogi to go back home, because you must go to Sanbaka. Not be lie. So people are, this thing is bigger than what than the Yaya Bello level alone. Yaya Bello might be the architect of this, but then from the way the man is operating, they probably will say this guy is going to frustrate, he's going to disappoint us. Let's get rid of him now. It might even be that the higher level of APC nationals that are staging this to take it into a record and say the public asked for his removal and we have removed him. They want to use him to score cheap political point. That is what I see. It might be more than just Yahaya Bello's case. That is it. So sad. Our great Nigerian youth have been turned into a laughingstock by our politicians. God give us a good leader. All this nonsense will need to stop. Bello Yahaya, you stole public funds and you raised your foot soldiers to defend you, but you have to go to prison. You are not different or higher than the law. That is the situation now. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment. Pay the protesters protesting for the removal of the Efcc chairman.